Greetings, Night City, and welcome to another episode of Cyberpunk 2077. I'm Cobalt Thorium, and we're going to do a lore episode because lore is building up like crazy. Yeah. So this time, I think we're gonna. I really want to tackle the world. Oh, there's 16 of them. Damn. Okay, well, we'll get through a couple of them. Yeah. Okay, America after the war. America after the war. The turbulent years of 2024 to 2035. At the end of the Fourth Corporate War, in order to establish relative order under the federal government, President Elizabeth Kress imposed martial law on NUS member states and nationalized the domestic arms manufacturing giant Militech. Preoccupied with their own internal issues, most of Europe and Japan paid little attention to developments in North America. Back in the 1990s, corporations had already begun aggressively purchasing huge swaths of arable land from farmers. Those who were left with no choice but to sell eventually found each other and organized into larger groups or clans to improve their odds of survival. Looking for reliable work opportunities meant staying on the move, and often specializing transport contracts. Nice typo. Yet, once the war settled down, their convoys became the single reliable, safe method of interstate shipping. In other words, in this time of crisis, an adaptation played a major role in the emergence of the so-called nomad social class. Meanwhile, in the 2040s, NetWatch created an immense firewall dubbed Blackwall to partition a safe part of the internet for human use and curb the threat of rogue artificial intelligences in cyberspace. At the organization's discretion, humanity was forced to sacrifice its access to inestimably valuable resources and knowledge for the sake of net security. Okay. So that's interesting. Jeez. Let's say the psychos of Max Tech. Oh man, it's so long. If a psychotic killer is prowling the streets, If a psychotic killer is prowling the streets, they're supposed to defend us. If your average Joe Blow goes ballistic into a cubicle, they're supposed to bag him and drop him off at the psych unit. They're supposed to make us feel safe in a world of madness, but be honest with yourself. Have you really felt safe in the presence of Max Tech? What mainstream media won't tell you is that 90% of Max Tech interventions end up with the killing of the cyber psycho. And if you confront anyone about it, the official word is that they only take life when absolutely necessary. But don't buy into their bullshit. For them, a kill is a must. To keep bystanders happy with the display of bloodstained justice. And if a few civilians die, tough. They'd say it's just a necessary evil for the greater good. Only, who's good exactly? So I think these are those cops with the electric thing, the like really powerful ones that can like teleport around. But anyway, I witnessed one of these interventions firsthand. The cyber psycho stormed into a mall, armed to the teeth, and shot 7 people before slipping into a detached state of calm. Mumbling God knows what to himself. Max Tech arrived within a few minutes and immediately opened fire. The gunfire jolted the psycho back into frenzy. By the time Max Tech secured the area, 25 people had died. What a heroic success, huh? You waiting for the bottom line? Here it is. All Max Tech members used to be cyber psychos themselves. Every single one. That's interesting. At the same time, the same people who butchered innocents on the street just a month, a week, or a day earlier are now our knights in shining armor. Is it any surprise nearly each of these interventions ends in an unavoidable massacre? Just a funny coincidence? You tell me. Okay. Kind of want to find a shorter one here. But we don't know if it's short until we click on it, and once we click on it, it's red, and we won't know if it's new anymore, so I think we kind of have to go with whatever we find. Let's do some of these leaflets. Your God, your Kuroshi. The Catholic Church has never taken an official stance on implants, but the significant presence of all matter of bodily modifications among the clergy would seem to suggest, just like in other branches of Christianity, that implants are completely acceptable in the eyes of the Church. The Mormon faith holds a different view. According to their tenets, no God-fearing Mormon can sport body modification implants, whether for aesthetic or functional purposes, the sole exception being life-supporting or other strictly health-related cyberware. When it comes to the Islamic faith, imams regularly speak out against cyberware, though actual possession of body modifications is not officially barred. Judaism does not have any provisions on implants, with the exception of Hasidic communities, where they are regulated individually by the community's Zadok. I have no idea what that word is. Alright, let's try another one of these. So that's a leaflet. That's a little bit weird. I thought the leaflets were usually some kind of advertisement. Let's try Pathology of the Badlands. Oh my god. Have you ever dreamed of leaving the city for a life on the road? Has your child ever told you they dream of becoming a nomad adventurer? Mistake. The romanticization of these brave highway pirates is as common as it is harmful. These drifters are not as mysterious or noble as you might think. No, in fact, they're no different from any criminal organization, although even organization may be a stretch. These wandering bands are no more than chaotic jumbles of trigger-happy anarchists roaming just outside the margins of civilization. Descended primarily from the largely extinct agrarian society of the Californias and beyond, these outsiders have rejected the amenities of modernity, and chosen instead a path of bloody revolt. They make rusted trucks and trailers their homes, denying themselves the basic necessities of running water and SCSMs. All this squalor by choice. Is this yet proof enough of their insanity? Of course, they do manage to scrape together enough to survive. How, you ask? Without factories, hotels, restaurants, and bars? They attack us. The transports of weapons and food destined for our businesses and our dinner tables. As if not shamed enough already, they smuggle psychoactive drugs across our borders. Even known murderers and rapists, it's true. And even they themselves are known to whore themselves out for contract killings, the bloodiest and most brutal most brutal that no one else would dare accept. You might think these self-proclaimed rebels, these fighters for a cause, would have some semblance of camaraderie. Nothing could be further from the truth. These scattered gangs of vagabonds and drifters are divided into dozens, if not hundreds, of smaller subgroups, who are at each other's throats more often than not. One day, they may unify to hijack a textile transport, while the next they murder each other in cold blood as they sleep. Even their children join in the bloodbath. While our kids receive games and toys for their birthdays, theirs are given rifles and rusty blades. But don't blame the children, blame the parents for depriving them of a happy and fulfilling future. And for what? Some illusion of freedom, obscured by their shroud of resentment and envy? Each of them has the potential to become a future technician, a netwatch agent, even a CEO. But instead, they die alone in the desert, buried under the sand, all for a couple ennies or a pouch of drugs. Still have romantic dreams about the Badlands? I didn't think so. That was way too long, and my jaw is getting tired. I mean, you could probably hear it in my voice. All right. Let's read a couple more of these and then maybe wrap it up. Caught in the maelstrom. Oh my god. We gotta read it because it's marked now as red. I'm stood in the middle of Torrentans, my knuckles white, tightly gripped, and Achilles' M139 or 179E rifle. It was shoved into my hands just seconds before the attack. My face, arms, and sin leather jacket are soaked in the blood and brain matter of the psycho I just shot. My contract, a 30-year-old maelstrummer with a green mohawk, patted me on the shoulder. Man, Phil, you ain't half S, he tells me appreciatively. You, took you for a pussy bitch. But gotta admit, you have some steel-clad balls after all. And don't worry about that sad scrap heap. If there ain't at least 20 bodies, you can't call it a maelstrom party. What had already been an unsettling experience took a turn for a whole other level. The other maelstromers continued to mock me. But what I could detect in their tone of approval I could detect a tone of approval through their vocal distortion. My mohawked contract even proposed that they install in me one of their distinct rudimentary implants. Fortunately, they didn't have in mind their iconic optic suite, so I accepted. My popularity continued to grow. No way you'd get the maelstrom mug so easy, he laughs. That tech's only for initiates. We pluck out their eyes and peel back the skin. No anesthetics. You survive, you're in. With the atmosphere now more relaxed, I asked if the rumors had been true. Do they accept contract killings? My mohawked source nodded with enthusiasm. Oh, F yeah. We make good scratch. And it's a great morale booster, you know? Machines ain't bothered with a mess of feelings. And that's what we aim for. Doing hit jobs, that helps us gouge out all the gooey emotions we still got left. Recently, this one guy got all whiny and snot-nosed just because we roasted some kid. I said, dude, you better relive some suppressor BDs and fast, or boss man's gonna blow your head off. The gonk should have listened. As I listened to his explanations and anecdotes, I realized that amusement clearly must not be one of their blacklisted emotions. And then I couldn't help but wonder, are machines capable of laughter? That's, it's trying too hard to be edgy. Anyway. Let's see what else we got here. Man. Look at all this stuff. We have 47 others. This is a crazy amount of lore, guys. Let's try this technology one. Revive it. Braindance quarterly. Oh my god. Guest editorial. Braindance editors have long strived to strike a balance between real, lived experience and technological, experiential purity. The more heavily processed the material, the more abstracted the pathways. The clearer the Braindance recording, these fundamental elements of design have guided editors since the first wave of brain-to-brain experience sharing technology took hold. In their pursuit of balance, however, editors have clearly shown bias for purity over naturalism over the years, even going so far as to use it as a point of pride in the quality of their production. But the industry's latest push for greater purity has the purpose of the technology already been forgotten? Will we not find ourselves processing and filtering a Braindance recording to the point where the emotional experience no longer extends beyond what we see from film, television, and video games? After reliving some of the latest titles on my feeder unit, this once academic question now feels all too inevitable for the industry's current trajectory. For a moment, let's consider why some reports suggest more and more users are searching for unlicensed titles on the black market, so-called black braindances, extreme braindances, or XBDs. Are we so sure that it's the illicit content they're after, or maybe the real draw is the residual grit we editors try so hard to remove? Distracting thoughts, irrelevant memories, loose associative threads, emotions stretching beyond the desired spectrum. What if this noise is not so superfluous as we believed it to be? What if these peripheral experiences hold the potential to elevate a good braindance to an exquisite one? We do ourselves a disservice by not exploring these questions before our blind crusade for braindance purity leads us into. Excuse me. Where was I? We do ourselves a disservice by not exploring these questions before our blind crusade for braindance purity leads this industry straight into the bin of obsolete flash-in-the-pan technology. J.A. Revive It, a quarterly magazine for braindance editors, amateurs, and enthusiasts. Volume 4/78, December 2076. Is there a short one we can do? Let's try this later. Okay. Sorry, Jax, I'm out. Put these new fridges under the bar. Set up the kegs. Taps are all flowing. Head in the broseph foaming up preem. Guess all you need is some effing customers, then we can talk. But seriously, as a friend, just sell the damn place. Never gonna finish this town. They hazed you good with that low rate mortgage. I know it. Got a feel for that sort of thing. Anyway, you need something, hit me on the horn. I'm going back to Pour and Brew in NC Boise. No clue what that's about. So, anyway, I think that'll wrap up this episode. It's a lore episode. So what the hell? Why was I so fast? What happened? Whoa, that was messed up. Okay, well, I think that'll wrap up this episode, and maybe we'll go and attack these guys after this. Because they're there, and I want some action. So anyway, I'll wrap up this episode here, and I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, lore is a little bit of a drag, but do want to get through it. So, and we got through a little bit of it. Probably gonna have to do more lore episodes pretty soon because they are really stacking up. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next episode. We'll have a little bit of action then. All right, bye bye.